The Israelites worshipped the golden calf. After the prophet Moses had left Mount Tur, unexpected things happened between the Israelites. We mentioned that the Egyptians used to worship a statue of an ox because they considered agriculture a holy job. The Israelites were influenced by them. Even though their hatred for the Egyptians had prevented them from worshipping an ox, they had accepted the idea amongst themselves. They had seen that a tribe from the Amalekites was worshipping a calf on their way from Egypt in the desert Tur. This awakened a feeling within them to worship the animal. When they mentioned it to the prophet Moses, he became very angry. He told them to keep away from false beliefs like this. When the prophet Moses had left for Mount Tur, a hypocrite called Samari tried to take advantage of the tribe's weakness. He wanted to become their leader in this way. Samari was a good jeweler. He could shape anything by melting metals. The Israelites had taken all of their precious belongings, such as gold and silver, with them. Samari first made a big bowl to use for the melting of the metals. He collected the metals that no one used and melted them. He made a beautiful calf statue and left everyone in amazement by it. When the wind blew against the statue, it made noises as if it was alive. Samari, who had left the Israelites in admiration for him because of his art, managed to fool them with his words too. He made the people believe that the statue he made was the God whom the prophet Moses went to visit at Mount Tur. First he himself began to worship the calf. The people then began to obey Samari as if they were expecting something like this to happen. They all started worshipping the calf. Even when the prophet Moses' brother, the prophet Aaron, intervened in the situation and warned the people, nobody listened to him. When he realized that there was nothing he could do, he chose to be quiet and waited for the prophet Moses' return. The rage of the prophet Moses. When the prophet Moses returned from Mount Tur, he was shocked to see what had happened. There was no sense in the Israelites worshipping a golden calf. He felt very offended by his people's situation. After putting the tablets to one side, he went up to his brother in rage and shouted at him, "What am I seeing, Aaron? Why didn't you prevent my people from worshipping this calf? Why didn't you say anything? Tell me what's happened to these people." Aaron's feelings were hurt by his brother's reaction. He replied to the prophet Moses in tears, "Dear son of my mother, do not be mad at me for no reason. I tried to prevent them, but they didn't listen to me. If I had insisted a little more, they would have killed me." The prophet Moses calmed down after hearing his brother's words. The fact that his brother said, "my mother's son," reminded him of his mother and made him calm down. He regretted his harsh reaction to his brother. "Dear Allah, forgive me and my brother Aaron, for it is your power to forgive." He then asked his brother what had happened. "Where did this statue come from, Aaron? Who made it?" "There is a man called Samari amongst us. Everything is down to him. He made it, then said to the people, 'This is the God that Moses went to Mount Tur to look for. He is looking in the wrong place. That's why he can't find it.' This is how he fooled the people." The prophet Moses called for Samari right away and asked him, "How did you make this golden statue, Samari?" Samari admitted his guilt. "O Moses, I collected the people's gold and melted it. Then I gave it this shape. I had seen the angel Gabriel when he appeared as a human and picked up a handful of soil that he walked on. I threw the soil all over the sculpture, and when the wind blows against it, it sounds as if it is alive. When the people saw this, they believed what I said by saying, 'This is our God.' They started to worship it." The prophet Moses listened to Samari with hatred. Samari had the honor which no one else ever had by seeing Gabriel. However, he used it in the wrong way and for bad reasons. He tried to lead the people the wrong way. The prophet Moses then told Samari to go away. "Go away from here, Samari. Because of you, many people have committed a terrible sin. Your punishment in this world is to live all by yourself and to be deprived of having the pleasure of living together with other people. Allah will give you your punishment and suffering in the other world." After the prophet Moses got rid of Samaria, he went up to the statue and then broke it into pieces. He then turned to the Israelites and said, "Your God is Allah, and there is no other God than Him. His wisdom surrounds everything. Dear people, you have wasted yourselves by worshipping the calf. Ask for forgiveness and try to tame yourselves." After the prophet Moses' advice, the Israelites started fasting altogether. They left themselves hungry for days so that they could make the nasty part of themselves go away. After some time, the prophet Moses' rage calmed down. He gathered his people around him and started reading the passages in the Torah and started to tell them about Allah's orders. Samura, on the other hand, lived apart from people through his life. No one went near him or spoke to him. After he spent his life like this, he passed away to the other world to face his true punishment. The slaughtered cow, the revived body. One day, a crime was committed among the Israelites. The relatives of the person who died were looking everywhere for the killer. Everyone was suspicious of each other and accusing one another. It was very chaotic. In the end, the people consulted the prophet Moses and asked him to find a solution to this situation. The prophet Moses then consulted Allah and asked for help. "Dear Allah, no one is admitting guilt. Let me know who the killer is." Allah gave this revelation: "Dear Moses, order your people to slaughter a cow." The prophet Moses informed his people of this order. The Israelites were left surprised. What did slaughtering a cow have to do with finding the murderer? They thought the order was a useless one. They started saying, "What does this mean, Moses? Are you joking with us?" The prophet Moses replied to his tribe, "I take refuge in Allah against those who mock people." The people realized the importance of the order when the prophet Moses said that, but they still felt hesitation in carrying out this order. They started asking the prophet Moses some questions. "Dear Moses, in that case, pray to Allah for us and let him reveal to us what kind of cow it is." The prophet Moses' reply was this: Allah revealed that the cow is not too old or too young, but is quite a strong cow. The Israelites weren't satisfied with this reply and asked, "Dear Moses, well then, ask Allah what colour it is." The prophet Moses answered this question by saying, "Allah revealed to me that it is a cow that when looked at makes you feel happy and looks shiny and yellow." The Israelites continued to ask more questions and were asking harder questions each time. They simply insisted on asking questions. "Dear Moses, let your Allah describe the cow a little more to us. All animals look the same, you know." "Dear Israelites, Allah has revealed to me that this is a cow that grazes by itself, is perfect and is plain looking." The quality and characteristics of the cow that was to be sacrificed were now known. There was nothing more to know about it. So the people then said to the prophet Moses, "Now you have given every detail." A man amongst the people had a son and a cow that fitted all the details and characteristics. When the man realized that it was going to die, he set the cow free in the forest and said, "Dear Allah, I entrust this cow to you until my son grows up." Soon after this he passed away. Many years later, the boy had grown up, the cow had also grown up and turned into a very lovely cow. After much searching, the Israelites finally found the cow. They paid a very high price to the boy, who was a believer, and bought the cow. After the cow was slaughtered, it was time for the killer to be found. Allah revealed to the prophet Moses that he should rub one piece of the cow's meat on the dead body. The prophet Moses did so, and the body then revived with Allah's will. He explained everything just as it happened and told them who the murderer was. It turned out that the heirs who had asked the murderer to be found were the actual murderers. The murderers were caught and punished. This event showed that while the slaughtering of the cow revealed the murderer, it also showed that a cow could never be holy. The act of the revival had been shown to the Israelites with this miracle.